Faye. I know it's been a little bit of a while because I'm terrible at updating. Just ask this guy. I am here with a long promised, like a while ago, like years ago, promised makeup tutorial before I even knew him about how to do fairy makeup. Quotes around fairy around your head. Fairy makeup on boys. And I have some news to tell you. So if you want to just skip to that and you don't want to deal with the makeup tutorial stuff, I will put a time that you should click right here. Can you demonstrate? No, just, yeah, sure. We'll put it over. Wait.
We're gonna move it around.
We're gonna put the time to click right here so that way you know where the makeup tutorial ends. But for those of you who watch my channel just pretty much for makeup tutorials, this is for you. My brother Patrick and I do a show for children, sort of, as this fairy con artist duo known as the Eldritch Brothers. I'll put a link in the doobly-doo to our Facebook page. And I have to put makeup on him on a somewhat regular basis. So this is based loosely on his character as Dwyn Eldritch, but sort of just a woodland type fairy character, elven dude. I'm going to be using a lot of palettes, so I'm sorry if you don't have some of the colors when you're doing this, but it's going to be pretty much neutrals and greens. That's what I do, honestly, all the time. That's pretty much all I work with as far as makeup. So
plus, if you put anything other than greens on me, my freakishly dark brown eyes become terrifying.
Yeah, they do. They're quite horrifying. So I'm going to start with one of the Coastal Scents palettes. I don't usually use base on Patrick because his skin absorbs makeup like crazy. So I usually just go straight from the palette onto his face. No base or eyeshadow or anything like that. I'm going to use the bitter green color right here. It's really close to Max Bitter Green. Close. I'm going to apply that in the corner of both of his eyes. One good thing about using matte powders like this for fairy makeup is it looks like pollen. And I really like using yellow on the inside of the eyes, like that's where the pollen would rest on your face or where they would put it. And I use a lot of greens and yellows. I'm actually mixing some of the yellow right there in. Alright, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this sage green color and this sort of darker bitter green color, olive green, and I'm going to blend that next to the first color that I put on. And I usually go all the way up to the brow and underneath the eye. I'm going to do something under his eye later though, so I don't do too much underneath the eye. But I'm going to keep this on the upper lid mainly. Also, I'm using the same brush for each color just because I like the way the colors blend that way, also because I'm lazy. Bright green right here. I'm going to apply that to his outer lid, right under his brow, just to darken his eyes up, and then this dark hunter green as well, just right in the corner. Mixing two colors here, this dark bluish green and this hunter green. Now underneath his eye, I like to go really dark because it gives it a little bit more of a masculine or tribal feel. I'm going to first do that with that hunter green that I just used.
Also to make it as difficult as possible for me to remove it later on.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm just doing this so that it's really hard for him to get off when he tries to take off his makeup. I'm going to take that middle green and that bitter green and kind of blend them together and use that to blend from the bright green in the corner to the forest green. I know each other so well that it's kind of hard for me to not just start blending with my fingers, but I know that's terribly unhygienic and I'm going to get a million comments that say, you shouldn't use your fingers on people's faces, on clients' faces. Patrick, my freaking brother, I do whatever I want.
I'm fairly certain at some point in time you've jabbed me in the eye intentionally.
Yep. And you see I'm kind of dragging points down here to give it a leafy effect. Just using the flat of the brush. I'm just dragging the color down. Next I'm going to take some dark brown over here. I'm going to use that to darken up under the eye some more. Okay. I'm also going to take, this is sort of like a shimmery dark brown. Close. I'm going to use that right in the crease to extend the crease a little bit more and create more of a crease because Patrick's eyes do not have much of an eyelid. So I'm using it to create more definition there. And also bringing that line down the nose. And I'm sorry for using my fingers, but he's my brother, I'm allowed. I'm also going to use that brown and some of this dark green to add some definition above the brow, or just add some color above the brow. Just because with all that color underneath his eye, if I don't do some of this, it just looks like it just doesn't look as neat or as finished. So I'm just adding some David Bowie style ticks upward. And feathering it out there.
For some reason I have the sudden urge to wear jumpsuits. What's happening?
No, you have the sudden urge to wear that those gray, heathered gray spandex pants.
Oh, from Labyrinth?
Yeah. And I'm also going to take some of that bright green and use that right here in the beginning of the brow. In the beginning of the brow. Faerie makeup that I like to include in when we do our performances is I do the freckles on the inside corners of my eyes and usually on the outside corners of his. But because I have that pollen in the middle there, I'm going to just start my kind of like a leopard spot style speckle. I'll do some detailed close-ups so you can see exactly how I do it. But I basically just start with a larger irregular dot in the middle and go outwards in a spray. Trying to mimic either freckles on a human or like speckles on an animal. There's the male fairy look. I hope you enjoyed it.
Don't you have news for them?
Oh, right. Hold on, let me zoom out. So I am, I told you before, I think in the Bottoms Beauty and Burlesque video or something, but I have been accepted in the Miss Michigan pageant again. I sent in stuff to the Miss Universe offices and they said that my burlesque is fine. I have not been disqualified. Everything's gonna be good, but I need to raise $1,000 in like 9 days. So if you can donate anything at all, there's gonna be a link below to my Indiegogo because Kickstarter rejected me. So everyone's like, start a Kickstarter. It's like, they wouldn't allow me.
Did they put their hands to their face when they said start a Kickstarter? And how could you tell over the internet?
Start a Kickstarter.
You want to dye your hands orange by touching
Yeah, sure.
clay?
But so this just looks like you handed me a sweet potato.
You want to eat some sweet potatoes on camera?
Arr, arr, arr. But so if you could, there is a link below to donate. I think I have to raise $1,400. I've raised about $400, so I need about over $1,000. But there's a link below. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this is what you were looking for, and if it wasn't, too bad. Oh wow, I look super red. Just like straight up pink.
Straight up, tell me. Do you really want to be in love with me forever? Kiss and tell.